current. There's a lot of things that that what Iowa Flood Center could do. I think just it's kind of that water centers, and it's kind of off this one is we're going to try. They're probably going to look at stealing some good ideas and coming up with some of our own that might be better fit for Illinois. Take some ideas from other places and move forward with that. So we got three of the topic leads here. We have BJ and Brennan. Welcome, Liz. I'm recording the call right now. We'll have a transcript after we get done. Obviously, this is the one that has the most topics on it. We have obviously rules and regulations. We have recreation. We have navigation, and then erosion sedimentation, which don't have Brian Reneker on the call this evening. I don't think he updated what he had on his PowerPoint, but so with that said, I guess we can kind of do a round robin here. Liz, who are you with?
Hey, it's Liz Selcom with Illinois Stewardship Alliance. And I apologize that I'm not on video. I've got the kiddos.
I understand.
But this was the only time that worked for me.
That's why we had it. I think we got, so, I mean, this can be kind of a tough time, but we are, we did this last time. It was pretty successful. I know the big one will probably be on Thursday. So we can go ahead and get started. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, there's the 4 topics that we have here. BJ, is there anything that you want to talk about starting out with navigation?
No, actually, and I'm kind of just listening to see if people had any questions, but obviously, for us, funding is always check, but funding thing we're missing, and so anything we can do to get more state, local, and federal funds towards marine transportation is going to help the system as a whole.
So yeah, I mean it's the program you guys got working with the ports and everything is a very good program, and it's like it would definitely ways to incentivize commerce on a river.
Right. So I guess I always forget, but for those folks on the phone that don't know, we just recently completed our first Illinois Marine Transportation System Planning and Economic Impact Analysis. That's on our IDOT planning page. Want to go look at it. And we've also got this professional video that we created outlining kind of the merits of the marine transportation system. And then also, as part of the Rebuild Illinois, there's $150 million that's allocated towards Illinois public port districts. So we've had an open call for that April 12th, and ends on 11th. So we're just from that. But that's all I got. Again, I'll listen and see if there's any specific questions for me. Go from there.
I don't have any specific questions for you, but our paths cross quite a bit. So I've heard you give this spiel many times. So
you can do it for me since I'm not.
Almost. I guess Liz, Gary, I don't know if you had anything. I know you attended the call last time we had the first outreach meeting. Brennan, is there some stuff you want to talk about? You're on mute.
There we go. Can you hear me?
There. Very good.
For water-based recreation, we have 3 recommendations. Access, maintain the access that we do have and upkeep on it, and also to try to find new and alternative access points where applicable. We also have Asian carp. We have current monitoring in place for Asian carp, and we have a removal in the upper Illinois, but really other places downstate Illinois where recreational opportunity is being hindered by Asian carp jumping out of the water and hurting people. We really don't have a type of removal program for downstate and other places besides the upper Illinois River. So looking more into that and expanding the projects that we do have along those lines. And the last thing we have is recreational awareness. This is awareness of the opportunities that we do have, maybe the opportunities that might be forthcoming, and also safety measures, safety awareness, where you can go, how to safely use the waters that and the recreational opportunities that we do have here in Illinois.
All right, thank you.
If anybody has any questions or anything to add to that, I'm all ears.
Yeah, just so you know, I did review what Seth sent today with the professor from U of I, and this kind of intersects with what Gary and I have been working on in that group. Let's see here.
Yeah, I know that you talked a lot about that in the last public meeting, so we thought we better get you involved with that.
Yeah, here's the thing. We've kind of had a little bit of a paradigm shift within the rules and regs. I think it can be an 800-pound gorilla, and we're trying to trim it down to like a 100-pound chimpanzee. I think the problem we got into is that we don't want to go into specific laws. Obviously, I deal with public waters, floodway construction. Folks deal with wetlands. We deal with water supply. I think we could every group that we have in this has some legal standing, legal precedent that they want to go after. I think we started realizing we really need to be more focused on what tools can you use, what kind of process that you need to do, and it really does simplify it a little bit, but it really helps you take a step back and then be consistent with everything you want to do. Just so you know, Gary, one of the things he brought to fore was the opinion from Professor U of I with regard to public waters. Mr. Maurer and I had a long conversation this afternoon about it, and we were pretty much on the same page. It kind of goes to the fact that it's an opinion. It's
I know I read it already, and Paul.
Okay. Oh yeah. So that was one of the thing. With what we were saying is that it's an opinion. There's the Hartigan opinion from back in the 80s, also an opinion, but the way we operate is been driven by case law. And I think it's not that we're opposed if something needs to be changed, we're open to that. But I think where it comes into is that you have case law. If you have an opinion kind of sits lower, it's like if it rises up to a case and challenges what we already do, then that's going to be the driver in what gets done. And I think one of the things that Paul made a comment about was in a lot of ways the opinion from the professor did kind of I think Paul put it this way, kind of poo-pooed a little bit on the Hartigan opinion, which was interesting. So I think that's kind of where we're at right now. I think there has been evolution on our public water law. I think one of the things when we had on our group meeting a couple weeks ago was we did bring that up, and I think a lot of folks are kind of at least seemed a little kind of getting to that acceptance stage because of some of the challenges we have on some of these areas that are non-public bodies of water. Not to say that there aren't things that could be done, But I think legally, I think there would have to be some sort of challenge, I think, to what's in case law, or there's going to have to be new law created. And that's not simple. In any stretch of the imagination. And I think that's what makes it so complicated is that I actually, and we're really, believe me, like Brendan, and Liz, we had some lawyers, we have some lawyers in our group, and they are starting to kind of, and they were very passionate about it, but they're starting to kind of see the light a little bit, because there is and as Gary would know, there is a great deal of history when it comes to public water law in the state of Illinois, and it has evolved quite a bit. So, so obviously it cross cuts with you guys, Brennan, because, you're dealing with recreation, and that's where our concerns have been, is on the recreation side, because of we have some very nice medium-sized rivers in the state of Illinois that don't meet the test for a public water. But people, like Mackinac, people enjoy them. People want to enjoy the Kishwaukee. People may want to enjoy the Lemoyne. It becomes a trespassing issue.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to, I understand it's not, I'm saying this is not as somebody, trying to put the hammer down. It's like, I understand, but the law is the law. And
Yeah. And I think you're just going to get this, especially from water recreation, because people go up to Wisconsin and, the laws are completely different there. So it's nothing that I can do to put in this report. It's the law. So,
yeah. I think our whole point is because we've gotten so many inquiries on the Kishwaukee. And what's crazy is that there was an order on like the Winnebago portion of the Kishwaukee where there had been a vendor who had been had been renting kayaks for many years. And then the judge made an order that, you can continue to do that. And I think the problem is that, as more people getting into the water, trying to get the kayaking and getting interested, and being so close to Wisconsin. I think unfortunately our answer to them is go down to Winnebago County or go to the Fox and the Chain, and you can kayak your brains out, I guess, is the way we can do it. Or try to work something out with the landowner. I think that's the problem is it would be great if we had some kind of, we've talked about IRAP, and I don't, it's because it's voluntary. It's kind of a tough sell. And I mean, if that might be where you guys might want to, that could be a recommendation for you guys, is to try to get something that might grow some legs for you, or look at some kind of program for that. Because one of the things that we do have a public waters presentation, which I'm sure Gary's probably built it. But that we get from time to time is kind of talking about, we compare ourselves to other states, and everybody besides Wisconsin is kind of similar to Illinois. They have a list of public bodies of water, whereas Wisconsin is, if you can float a log in it, you can float a kayak in it. So, any thoughts, Gary?
I was going to say, yeah, that's pretty much true. As engineers, we have ethical law. I mean, it's not our preference to follow the law and something else. It's the way it is. Historically, this issue has been challenged since 1911.
Yeah.
This is not a new issue. And what I like to point out, not that we are always right, but Water Resources and the common law, but once we got to DNR, of transportation, the attorneys in DNR had a change of mind, because now they had to defend. Right, and realized they didn't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Common law always defeat them in court. So their proactive stance on having all the rivers open was not as easily, done or said and done.
Yeah.
And you mentioned we have specifically a case that rejected Hubbard versus Bell.
Yeah.
'cause that's navigation.
Yeah.
So Wisconsin and us are on totally opposite sides of the spectrum. Anyhow.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, I hate to say this. It is what it is. It is, it's not, there's not really an easy solution
No.
to it. Another thing that we've gotten, we got a lot of feedback on that originally was going to be part of my, my recommendations until before this meeting is that, we talked about recreational access. Peter's going crazy now. Really we'd like, if we're going to create new law or amend new law, it's, that's the time maybe to look to some other states if we've got some gaps that we don't already have. If we've got gaps in current law, I think if we've got current law that maybe we need to, expand upon, perhaps we do that. There's a big push right now because of the change to 404 on the federal side. We've had bills in General Assembly for having wetlands within DNR, having wetlands in OWR, having wetlands in OWR resource management, which, caused me to pull the rest of my hair out because, my boss comes to me and says, he goes, well, how are you going to do that? And I'm like, that's an excellent question. I speak engineer. I don't speak wetland person. I go, it would be a whole other group. And, not to say that we couldn't do it, but, I mean, it is kind of a paradigm shift for us. But we've got some folks in DNR that speak wetland, but they also are involved with us on the permitting side too. And, which they have their own authorities as well. And that's a challenge. I know that there was some interest in the clarity in the water supply planning process was an interest. Obviously we've talked you and I have talked at length a couple of years ago about, kind of the historical context of water supply, with relation to groundwater in the state of Illinois, and obviously Lake Michigan. We've got a lot of case law there as well. There was some, I know Brian, who's not here tonight, he was interested in some, with nutrient loss, which it was more of an ag issue. And I think, there's definitely some movement there. But he knows more of the details than that. But we really try to get away from specific. I think the problem is that, you can really go down a rabbit hole with proposing, looking at laws, and, anything we propose is going to have to follow a consistent process. So I know I'm just yapping my gums. I guess I just needed more people in here. It's everybody else is enjoying this fine, this nice night here in Central Illinois. Nice warm weather.
You're talking about water supply, of course. I think, of course, you know this, but the Office of Water Resources has water supply statutory responsibilities to study and evaluate supplies going back to, probably the 60s that laws were passed. And we've done, studies with the Water Survey for decades. And stream gauge and low flow studies, biology of rivers was done. A lot of that work was done in the 80s and 90s. That goes way back, but both biologists and engineers really moved up the learning curve on low flow habitat and low flow needs. And that information is still being used in setting or help to forecast the protective flows on withdrawals from larger rivers.
Yeah.
So, the Office of Water Resources, and we're not trying to step on IEPA's regulatory authority at all, but they don't do a lot of planning, public water supplies.
Yeah.
To us, it's an issue from public waters, from habitat, from needs. And so we've had a robust program, and West still is managing that and still doing a lot with the surveys on groundwater and surface water.
Yes. Okay, you got a couple questions from Liz here. I see that one about the erosion and sediment section. You're very interested in, and unfortunately, the lead for that is not here tonight. I mean, I think that is his topic more from an ag. You know, he's Brian's with ag. Unfortunately he didn't update his PowerPoint slide either. So you know, we can get you his contact information, and you might be able to talk to him directly. My guess is he's probably going to be this happened last time we had these tiered meetings is that he was actually at the other two. He just couldn't make it to one of them, and that's when we got all the questions. So that's usually the way it works out. So we are recording that. This is something I can pass on to him after the WebEx here. This works out pretty slick. You guys probably, I don't know if you've used it before, Brennan, is that, you know, when you record it, it actually provides a transcript of the call as well. And we post that on our website. So along with this recording, what we have here, so it captures all the conversation. So that's pretty slick. What
That'd be
else?
good because Seth will be on the next 2 days, so I'll be able to go back and
You're in fisheries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I haven't seen a whole lot of you guys in the office. Only time I've seen Kevin has been in his basement.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We still haven't got approval to go back to the office yet.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the nature of the OWR folks. I mean, I'm going in like half days. I got to pick up my kid after school. But we've got folks in every day. You know, we've got, you know, our permit guys are in like 3 days a week. You know, my counterpart's in every day. Our CAP programs, he's in every day. Our director's in every day. Our construction services guys, he's in every day. Mitigation in every day.
Yeah.
Our Chicago office, they're pretty much in every day. So Bartlett hasn't been so much, but we got a lot of people in the office. So
Yeah. Last I heard, they were working on getting Springfield people back and then field people.
yeah,
So I don't know when that'll be.
our survey crew's been going out. They've been going. It's like we got so much work for them right now. I don't know, Gary. It's like you probably don't realize this. We've got a lot of work, but we don't really have any studies going that we traditionally do. But we've got so much work working with State Water Survey and working with the Corps on the Silver Jackets program, doing first floor elevations throughout the state. They got more work they can deal with right now.
That's
So,
what I mean.
Yeah.
Those guys will go anywhere, do anything you ask them. Yes.
oh yeah, they love it, man. They love. So
Yeah, I've been out in the field since beginning of April, so it hasn't really affected me at all. I need an office day here and there, but other than that,
it's a ghost town right now. I mean, it's kind of eerie, but I think everybody's kind of the point where, you know, they want to get back. I think a lot of folks are just that are in there. It's the same group that's in. It's like Lands has a ton of folks in. I think
yeah, all lands people are back.
yeah, I mean, they've got to. The challenge we've had, we've had a bunch of retirements. We actually two of our executive secretaries at Springfield both retired at the end of April. So,
Okay.
but we got people hired right away. We got somebody that came up from law enforcement. She's working for Rick, and then the one's going to work for me is coming from resource conservation. So,
Yeah, I'm here at Starved Rock, and they have the visitor center open.
yeah,
And people are coming in there, and I'm still not allowed to go back to my office.
yeah,
But they got millions of people going to Starved Rock going through that visitor center.
oh yeah. Our Bartlett office, it's like we've got folks that are going into it, but that whole building's closed. So, you know, they haven't reopened it for anybody else, but we still got everybody, you know, we've got Bill Boyd's going in there, and we got Kathy Riley's going in, and then Rogner has got an office up there. So he's been going in quite a bit. So, yeah, it's been an interesting time. So we're hoping to get everybody back in soon.
All us fisheries guys are kind of all spread out anyway. We got multiple counties, so we kind of just all meet at wherever we're going to survey or whatever we're going to do. We just kind of meet there at the beginning of the day. So it really doesn't matter to me if we go back to the office or not. I just need to grab some equipment and head out to the field. So, and that might be why